amidst China. Did you know this land today with each then? Fact 1. The Empire of People, a swaying ocean of humanity, suspended between heaven and earth. We will begin our immersion with what lies on the surface, yet remains no less enigmatic. For many decades, China held the title of the most populous country in the world, though it recently ceded this dubious honor to India. But can mere statistics convey the true magnitude of this human ocean? More than 1,400,000,000 souls, each with their own story, each like a separate universe, coexist in a territory where civilization has been continuously evolving for 5,000 years. Imagine, 1 in every 5 people on our planet wakes up under the scarlet banners of the Middle Kingdom. 56 officially recognized nationalities, hundreds of dialects, thousands of local traditions. This is not just a country. It is an entire anthropological cosmos, stretching from the endless steppes of Inner Mongolia to the tropical jungles of Yunnan. And towering above it all is the Great Wall of China, the only man-made structure that, contrary to popular myth, cannot be seen with the naked eye from space, yet remains the most grandiose monument to human perseverance. 8,851 kilometers of the twisting stone dragon. Can one imagine a more majestic symbol of civilization? But what compelled the ancient builders to erect this wonder of the world? Was it merely protection against nomads, as historians assert, or were there other, more mysterious reasons that official sources remain silent about? And how did they manage to coordinate the work of hundreds of thousands of people in an age devoid of modern means of communication and transportation? These questions continue to stir the minds of researchers, hinting at the existence of lost knowledge and technologies of ancient China. But this is just the first door into the labyrinth of mysteries that we are to explore. Fact 2. Beijing, a city of 1,000 faces, where the past and the future intertwine in a mystical dance of time. Now, let us transport ourselves to the heart of this enigmatic civilization, to a place where ancient secrets and futuristic visions exist in strange symbiosis, giving rise to a reality unlike anything else in the world. Beijing, this colossal metropolis with a population of over 21 million people, presents itself as a living paradox, a temporal rift where eras do not replace one another but rather layer upon each other, creating a multidimensional reality. In the morning, you can stroll through the hutongs, narrow, winding alleys that have existed here for 800 years, inhaling the aromas of traditional cuisine and listening to the whispers of centuries, and by afternoon, find yourself among the dazzling glass and steel skyscrapers of the Chaoyang district, where the future has already arrived. In the center of the city, like a gem set in the frame of modernity, shines the Forbidden City. 980 structures, 8,708 rooms, located on a 72-hectare plot. Once, an ordinary person could not even approach these walls under the threat of death. Yet today, tourists from around the world wander through its palaces, unaware that beneath their feet, according to ancient legends, lies an entire underground complex that official science prefers to keep silent about. Why do archaeologists not conduct extensive excavations beneath the Forbidden City? What do the authorities hide in the underground labyrinths of the ancient capital? And just a few kilometers from the imperial palaces rises the futuristic nest of the National Stadium and the whimsical cube of the National Aquatic Center. Legacies of the 2008 Olympics, symbols of a new era. But even these ultra-modern structures carry echoes of ancient philosophy and symbolism. Is it mere coincidence that the stadium resembles the nest of the mythical Feng Huang bird, while the water center reflects the crystal of water, one of the 5 primordial elements of Chinese cosmology? Architects claim it is simply a tribute to tradition, but connoisseurs of ancient teaching see in these forms encoded messages, comprehensible only to the initiated. Beijing. It is not just a city of contrasts. It is a place where reality layers into multiple dimensions, And who knows what other secrets lie behind the facades of its palaces and skyscrapers. Fact 3. Chinese cuisine, a secret language of 8 ancient traditions, hidden beneath the guise of familiar dishes. Yet even as we delve into the mystical dualism of Beijing's architecture, we have merely scratched the surface of the enigmas of the Middle Kingdom. For there exists another dimension of this civilization that speaks to us in a language of flavors and aromas, which we comprehend only partially, unaware of the full depth of its symbolism. What most of us refer to as Chinese cuisine is, in fact, merely a distorted echo of a grand gastronomic symphony that spans more than 4,000 years of history and is divided into 8 great culinary traditions, each guarding its secrets and philosophy. The Shandong, Sichuan, Cantonese, Hunan, Fujian, Anhui, Zhejiang, and Jiangsu schools are not merely different ways of preparing food. They are entire worldviews in which each ingredient and each method of cooking carries profound meaning, tied to ancient beliefs about the balance of yin and yang, the 5 elements, and human health. Have you ever wondered why authentic Sichuan cuisine uses a special pepper that causes not just a burning sensation, but a strange numbness in the mouth? Some researchers claim that this effect was originally employed in Taoist practices to achieve altered states of consciousness. And did you know that the Cantonese tradition of dietary soup, which requires 8 hours of simmering herbs and meat, traces its origins to ancient alchemical recipes for immortality? What we have come to see in Chinese cuisine restaurants in the post-Soviet space are adapted, simplified versions of dishes stripped of their ritual and philosophical context. Even the famous jiaozi dumplings, which many consider merely a tasty meal, are shaped like ancient gold ingots and are traditionally prepared during the new year as a symbol of wealth and prosperity. And why do some dishes from the imperial kitchen remain classified, with their recipes passed down only from master to chosen disciple? What special ingredients or techniques do they contain? Perhaps within these culinary secrets lie knowledge that modern science is only beginning to grasp. Fact 4. Hieroglyphic writing, the encrypted memory of civilization in thousands of mysterious symbols. Yet the mysteries of Chinese gastronomy are merely a prelude to an even deeper labyrinth of meanings that unfolds before those daring enough to glimpse into the enigmatic world of Chinese writing. This ancient means of communication, emerging over 5,000 years ago, still retains the energetic imprint of the primordial consciousness of our ancestors. Unlike most world languages, Chinese writing has never known an alphabet. Instead of 26 or 33 letters, the Chinese operate with thousands of mysterious symbols, each carrying not merely a sound, but an entire concept, a history, a philosophical idea. Consider this. In order to simply read a daily newspaper, a Chinese person must master at least 3,000 different characters, while an educated individual knows between 5,000 and 7,000. But what is even more astonishing is that each of these symbols began its journey as a pictogram, a small drawing depicting a specific object or phenomenon: the sun, a mountain, a tree, a person. Over time, these drawings were stylized, simplified, and abstracted, yet the genetic memory of the original image has been preserved within them to this day. Some linguists claim that hieroglyphic writing activates entirely different areas of the brain than alphabetic writing, creating a distinct type of thinking that is more vivid, intuitive, and holistic. Is it possible that by using this writing system for millennia, Chinese civilization has developed unique cognitive abilities inaccessible to speakers of alphabetic languages? It is known that many ancient characters contain information about events and technologies that, according to official history, could not have been known at the time these symbols were created. How can one explain, for instance, that the character for electricity was created long before this phenomenon was discovered by European science? Or why do ancient texts feature symbols describing processes that modern physics only uncovered in the 20th century? Some researchers hypothesize that the hieroglyphic system is not merely a way to record language, but a kind of code, a matrix of reality that allows for the storage and transmission of knowledge on a level inaccessible to linear, alphabetic thinking. But if this is the case, what other secrets lie hidden within these ancient symbols, waiting for their moment? Fact 5. The Chinese New Year, a mysterious spring festival and its red symbols. How challenging it is to describe the grandeur and mystery of the Chinese New Year, which, starting from the first day of the first lunar month, transforms the entire country into a vibrant sea of red and gold. This celebration, also known as the Spring Festival, not only marks the beginning of a new year, it embodies ancient traditions and customs that stretch back for millennia. The streets resonate with the deafening sounds of fireworks, which are believed to chase away evil spirits and bring good fortune. Dressed in new, bright garments, the Chinese strive to welcome the new year with pure hearts and hopeful aspirations, as if absorbing the opportunities and blessings promised by the year ahead. Yet, it is the red envelopes concealing money that capture the most attention, symbolizing wealth and prosperity. The tradition of gifting such envelopes, known as hongbao, embodies generosity and care for loved ones. Children and younger relatives eagerly await the moment when the elders present them with these magical red packets, for they represent not only financial support, but also heartfelt wishes. But what lies behind this practice? Some researchers assert that the color red in Chinese culture is associated with luck and happiness, which explains its widespread use in New Year decorations. The festive events span a full 2 weeks, filled with celebrations, family dinners, and rituals that forge connections between generations, strengthening familial bonds. But what is the true essence of this festival that penetrates so deeply into the hearts of the Chinese? What are its roots, and what hidden meanings lie behind the lavish feasts and merriment? This tradition undoubtedly harbors numerous mysteries that continue to intrigue and inspire generations. And perhaps, within these red envelopes filled with money, lie not only material gifts, but also ancient wisdom that humanity strives to understand and preserve. Fact 6. The Panda, a mysterious symbol of China under state protection. How charming and enigmatic is the panda, this fluffy creature with its black and white patches, which has become not only a national symbol of China, but also an object of international attention and admiration. These amazing bears, inhabiting the high-altitude forests, have captivated human beings for centuries with their grace and unparalleled charm. However, behind their allure lies something more. The panda is under strict state protection, and efforts to safeguard it have become an integral part of Chinese culture and identity. Why has the panda become the symbol of the country? This question contains many layers. On one hand, the panda embodies the uniqueness of China's nature and biological diversity. On the other hand, it has become a tool of soft power in international relations. This practice, known as panda diplomacy, allows China to send these charming animals to zoos in other countries as a symbol of friendship and cooperation. But what lies behind this strategy? How could a creature as vulnerable and rare as the panda become such a powerful ambassador? Some researchers believe that this is no mere coincidence. The panda, as a symbol, evokes positive emotions and a desire for collaboration, for who could resist its sweet gaze and playful behavior? Yet, despite all efforts to protect this species, the panda remains endangered due to the destruction of its natural habitat. How can we preserve this wonder of nature in a rapidly changing world? And most intriguingly, what role will the panda play in the future of relations between China and other countries? This mystery, like the panda itself, remains unsolved, and perhaps within its fate lies a lesson about the interconnectedness of all living things on the planet. Fact 7. The secrets of Chinese education. The Gaokao exam as the key to the future. Who could have imagined that in a world where knowledge is becoming increasingly valuable, there exists such a powerful cult of education as in China. In this country, where the pursuit of success and high achievement permeates every facet of life, the Gaokao exam has become a true landmark, determining the fates of millions of students. This nationwide test, held once a year, demands not only knowledge but also incredible concentration, willpower, and resilience from its participants. How did it come to be that a single exam can change a person's life? Each year, when the time for the Gaokao arrives, a unique atmosphere envelops cities and villages. Roads around schools are closed off to ensure that nothing distracts students from their final battle for a place in higher education. This is a time when parents become true guardians of their children. They set up tents, prepare food, and provide essential moral support. As the exam is not just a test, it is a culture in which the hopes and dreams of future students intertwine. But what lies behind this system? Why do Chinese students strive so desperately for success? And how did the Gaokao become a symbol of both personal and national ambition? Some argue that it is rooted in ancient traditions that viewed education as the key to prosperity and social mobility. On the other hand, there is also the perspective that such a rigid system creates relentless pressure on the youth. How can one cope with this burden when every point can be decisive? And what happens to those who do not pass this trial? The mystery of the Gaokao remains unresolved, encompassing not only the stories of individual lives, but also a whole generation that, like pandas, is trying to find its place in a rapidly changing world. How will this system evolve in the future? And is it possible that similar challenges exist beyond China's borders, of which we are still unaware? Fact 8. The art of tea drinking. The mystery of the Gongfu tea ceremony. Who could have imagined that in the heart of China lies a true treasure trove of traditions, where every tea-drinking experience transforms into an art form? The Gongfu tea ceremony is not merely a process of brewing tea. It is an entire ritual that demands from its participants profound knowledge and high-level skill. Here, in this enigmatic world, every movement, every touch upon the tea is filled with meaning and significance. How is it that a simple tea gathering becomes a genuine art? In Gongfu tea, attention to detail plays a crucial role. From water temperature to brewing time, all these parameters can fundamentally alter the flavor and aroma of the beverage. Imagine this. In the hands of a master lie the leaves of high-quality oolong tea, which, when brewed correctly, unfold into a multitude of flavor notes. But how exactly can one achieve the perfect balance? Some researchers assert that this art requires decades of practice, while others believe that anyone who sincerely seeks to understand tea can become a master. What meaning lies behind this ritual? Perhaps it is the quest for harmony and tranquility that allows people to momentarily forget the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Yet, Gongfu tea is not just an art. It is also a profound philosophy interwoven with tradition, culture, and spirituality. How can tea bring people together and create a special atmosphere for communication? And what happens when this ancient ritual encounters the modern world, where speed and efficiency become paramount? The mystery of the Gongfu tea ceremony remains unsolved, and perhaps it holds lessons about the importance of slowing down and savoring the moment. Are there similar ceremonies in other cultures that might also open new horizons of understanding and communication for us? Fact 9. The enigma of the social credit system in China. How behavior determines fate. In China, there exists a social credit system that astonishingly influences the lives of millions, creating a unique atmosphere where every action can leave its mark. What exactly is this system, and how does it function? Social credit is a sort of rating for citizens, based on their behavior and interactions within society. Imagine this. Your rating can determine not only your ability to secure a loan, but also your right to fly, access certain services, and sometimes even shape personal relationships. But how is it that an individual's behavior becomes so crucial to their life prospects? According to this system, every good deed, such as timely bill payments or helping others, can boost your rating. Meanwhile, infractions like traffic fines or unpaid debts lead to its decline. How does this affect society as a whole? In China, where the culture of collectivism is valued over individualism, such a system creates pressure on citizens, urging them to adhere to norms and rules in pursuit of a favorable rating. On the flip side, does this not raise concerns that such a system could lead to excessive control and infringement on personal freedom? What are the moral and ethical boundaries in this new world, where every action is recorded and assessed? Some researchers argue that this could herald a new era in societal management, where technology and social norms intertwine into a cohesive system. But is that truly the case? The enigma of the social credit system remains unsolved, and perhaps it opens doors to understanding how technology can shape our behavior and our society. Are there similar systems in other countries that might also alter perceptions of personal responsibility and freedom? Fact 10. The mystery of the number 4. A symbol of death or just a superstition? In Chinese culture, the number 4 is shrouded in a grim aura. Its pronunciation resembles the word for death, evoking trepidation and fear in many. How could this have become the foundation for an entire system of beliefs and practices? In China, you won't find fourth floors in residential buildings. Instead, they are simply skipped, leaving elevators with the mysterious third and fifth floors. This is not merely an architect's whim. It reflects a deep respect for traditions and beliefs that permeate everyday life. Moreover, hotel room numbers containing the digit 4 are often excluded from listings, and if they do appear, they are usually priced significantly lower. Why is this so? Perhaps it is because many believe that staying in such a room could bring misfortune or even disaster. In contrast to the number 4 stands the number 8, which is considered lucky and symbolizes wealth. 8 sounds similar to the word for prosperity, and many people strive to incorporate it into their lives, from phone numbers to license plates. They may seem like simple digits, but they embody an entire world of superstitions and hopes. Interestingly, even during promotions and sales, when rooms with the number 4 are put up for grabs, they quickly lose their value, while the number 8 can double the price. How is it possible that just one number can so profoundly influence people's behavior? Some researchers assert that this reflects ancient beliefs whose roots stretch back through the centuries. But what truly lies behind this obsession with numbers? Perhaps it is simply superstition, or is there something more than just a trick of the mind? The mystery of numbers in Chinese culture remains unsolved, and it may unlock a deeper understanding of how traditions and superstitions shape perceptions of life and death in different corners of the globe. How many more hidden symbols and numbers are waiting for their moment to be discovered? Fact 11. Ghost cities, a void in the heart of the megalopolis? In China, there exists a mysterious phenomenon that few are aware of, yet it evokes genuine interest. Ghost cities, majestic and grand, yet deserted and lifeless. How did it come to pass that entire megalopolises were erected, only to now stand in anticipation of when people will arrive? Cities like Ordos and Kangbashi were created as part of an ambitious overbuilding program intended to accommodate the country's growing population. However, despite all efforts, many of these constructions remain uninhabited to this day, standing as somber monuments to humanity's dreams of the future. How can such a peculiarity be explained? This phenomenon is the result of the peculiarities of the Chinese economy and planning system, where colossal funds are allocated for the creation of new cities, and construction is undertaken ahead of actual needs. There is a belief that authorities hope to attract people to these megalopolises, yet many of them continue to remain empty, provoking bewilderment and even fear. Could such places be more than just architectural projects, perhaps symbols of something greater? Some researchers argue that this reflects the internal contradictions of Chinese society, where the pursuit of progress clashes with the realities of life. But what are the true reasons behind this phenomenon? Is it merely an economic miscalculation, or do they conceal grim warnings about a future we cannot predict? Ghost cities remain a mystery, raising questions about how ambition and reality can coexist in a single space. How many more such desolate places lie hidden beneath the sky of China, waiting for their moment and their inhabitants? Fact 12. The one-child policy, how a demographic experiment changed society. In China, a country with a millennia-old history and a rich culture, there exists yet another enigma that raises numerous questions about human nature and social structure. This enigma is linked to the one family, one child policy, implemented in the late 1970s, which was ostensibly designed to help control the rapid population growth. However, decades later, this initiative has resulted in unexpected and even catastrophic consequences. The country now has around 30 million surplus men who are unable to find partners. How did the desire for birth control turn into such a serious social problem? This situation creates not only emotional and cultural difficulties, but also raises concerns about the future of society. The fact is that traditional Chinese culture has a preference for the male gender, which has led to practices such as sex-selective abortions and gender-based infanticide. As a result, significant gender inequality has emerged, making it challenging for many men to establish families. How has this impacted social relationships and the mental health of millions? Some experts suggest that it could lead to increased social tension, as well as a rise in crime and violence. But what if there are even deeper issues related to identity and belonging hidden beneath these statistics? How will intergenerational relationships evolve in light of this problem, especially if men remain alienated and isolated? Questions about how such a demographic imbalance will affect China's future remain unanswered. Perhaps this is not only a numerical issue, but also a complex social structure that requires careful analysis and understanding. We stand on the brink of a new era, where these surplus men could become both a source of conflict and an opportunity for change. What awaits China in the future as millions seek their place in the world? Fact 13. The ban on reincarnation. How does the government control Tibetan monks? In China, where ancient traditions clash with modern political realities, there exists yet another enigma, shrouded in mystery and contradictions. In the year 2007, the Chinese government enacted a law that prohibits Tibetan Buddhist monks from being reincarnated without special permission from the authorities. What does this mean for one of the oldest and most enigmatic religions, where the concept of reincarnation occupies a central place? At first glance, this measure may seem peculiar. However, it serves as a striking example of the policy of control over Tibetan culture and religion that has persisted for decades. Tibetan Buddhists believe that great teachers can be reborn in new bodies to continue their mission on Earth. Yet, under the stringent control of the state, where every detail of life is scrutinized, this process is now under threat. How did it come to pass that an ancient faith confronted modern totalitarianism? Monasteries, which once served as centers of spiritual enlightenment, must now conform to state demands, provoking discontent and outrage. Some contend that this is not merely an attempt to suppress the Tibetan population, but also a bid to alter the very foundations of Buddhism in the region. Tibetan nuns and monks, deprived of the ability to freely practice their faith, become pawns in political games. But what lies behind this control? What are the true intentions of the authorities, and what do they hope to achieve by suppressing one of humanity's most profound and mysterious traditions? Perhaps they fear that Tibetan culture could become a symbol of resistance and unity among the people. This riddle remains unresolved, and the air is thick with the question, How long can Buddhism in Tibet withstand this pressure? And what will happen if Tibetan teachers find ways to continue their mission without permission? Fact 14. The mystery of matriarchy. Who are the Mosuo, and how do they live in Yunnan? In the picturesque province of Yunnan, located in the southwest of China, lies one of the most unusual and enigmatic cultures, the Mosuo people. This ethnic group astounds with its unique way of life, where women occupy a central role in society. How could such a society arise, where matriarchy is the norm? Among the Mosuo, women not only lead families but also own property, make all significant decisions, and serve as the primary guardians of traditions and culture. Their social structure surprises with its openness and freedom. Here, walking marriages are practiced, meaning that women can have multiple partners with whom they meet while remaining independent. How is this possible? In these families, children belong to the mother's lineage, creating a strong bond between women and their offspring. This is not merely a custom, it is an entire philosophy of life, where respect for women and their roles in society reaches unprecedented heights. How does this impact social relations among the Mosuo? While in most societies men traditionally hold a dominant position, among the Mosuo, the situation is quite different. Women manage family affairs, while men often take on secondary roles. But what lies behind this unique system? Some researchers believe that this structure is linked to the historical characteristics of the region, where women, left alone due to wars and conflicts, learned to protect themselves and their children. However, this matriarchal structure is not without its mystical aspects. How do the Mosuo perceive the world and their place in it? Their culture is rich with myths and legends, interwoven with ideas of harmony with nature and respect for ancestors. Yet, despite all their distinctiveness, the Mosuo face the challenges of modernity. How will they preserve their traditions in the context of globalization and pressure from the outside world? This mystery remains unsolved, and the air is thick with the question, will the Mosuo people be able to maintain their unique customs and way of life in the future, or will they be forced to adapt to new realities? Fact 15. The Cave of the Flying People, a mystery of underground life in China. In the southwest of China, within the enigmatic depths of Guizhou province, lies the unique village of Zhongdong, where for centuries a mysterious community has thrived in underground caves. How could such a system of habitation, isolated from the outside world for hundreds of years, have come into existence? The inhabitants of this village, known as the Flying People, were unfamiliar with electricity or modern conveniences, and their lives were steeped in ancient traditions and distinctive customs. The caves they inhabited created an atmosphere of solitude and mystery, where every stone seems to guard its secrets. The locals developed their own language, reflecting their culture and way of life, which has become an integral part of their identity. How can we explain such remarkable unity with nature and history? Their beliefs are rich with myths about spirits and ancestors, whom they believe protect them from the outside world. However, in 2018, a new era began. The residents of Zhongdong started moving into modern homes, leaving their caves behind. How has this affected their traditions and culture? Some felt lost in this new world, while others embraced the opportunities that modernity brought. Yet, the question remains, can this unique culture, which existed in harmony with nature, adapt to new conditions without losing its identity? While some researchers emphasize the importance of preserving their language and traditions, others suggest that over time they may become part of a globalized world with their unique history fading into mere memory. This mystery, much like the dark caves, remains unsolved, and we can only speculate how many more such cultures are hidden from our view, waiting for their moment to be discovered. Thus, we have reached the finale of our journey through the iceberg of Chinese culture, where each layer conceals astonishing and sometimes shocking facts. We have witnessed how ancient traditions, deeply rooted in the lives of the people, coexist with the rapidly evolving modern China, which has become a global power influencing the entire world. This contrast between the known and the unknown, between millennia-old heritage and contemporary realities, creates a unique picture, full of mysteries and discoveries. Reflecting on how just a few decades ago China was a closed and little-known state, one can only marvel at how swiftly it has transformed before the eyes of the world. For a mature audience, well aware of what China was like in their youth, this must be particularly intriguing. How is it that a country once spoken of only in whispers now occupies a central place on the global stage? Each fact we discussed is not merely information. It is a window into a world brimming with secrets. Which of these facts surprised you the most? And what else would you like to learn about China? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments, as your opinion matters to us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like our content, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our future explorations into the depths of knowledge about different countries and cultures. The mysteries of history and the enigmas of cultures await discovery, and together we can explore this captivating world.